All right, so my ladies are going to introduce themselves and then we are going to start the conversation. So they're going to tell us about who they are, what they do, and why they are passionate about mental health. So I'm going to start with Juanita.
Hello, my name is Juanita Naa-Odey Ofori. I am the executive director of the Mindwings Foundation and also a very passionate mental health advocate. Um, the reason why I am passionate about mental health is I experienced a mental health disorder or illness myself. And because of that personal setback or journey, it fueled my passion to start the foundation. And the foundation is basically set to help people feel more seen and then help their journey through healing and also for them to feel supported. So that's why I'm very passionate about it. I want to help people feel seen, heard, and supported through their journey of healing
Okay.
because I don't think I had it that easy, but then we want to make it easy for others.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Hampson. I'm a therapist and a writer, aside many other things. So the reason why I'm passionate about mental health is I notice most people do not have the safe space to actually express themselves, and also most people are not aware or even properly equipped with the information they need concerning mental health awareness or illnesses itself. So that's the major reason why I decided to be a part of the Mindswind Foundation. And that's why I'm also passionate about it, to create a safe space for people to actually learn about mental health and the illnesses as well.
Okay, great. So we've now understood what mental health means to you. We are in a world now that a lot of people use mental health frequently, like they use it anyhow. Any small thing, my mental health. Any small thing, they are now like. I was watching a couple of videos on TikTok, and then somebody wakes up one day, cleans their room one Saturday, and think they have what's it called,
ADHD
OCD
or
or
OCD.
HDHD because you woke up and cleaned your apartment, so you think you have like a disorder. So, what do you think has been the conversation around mental health these days? People are using it frequently, it's being misunderstood and being misused. What are your thoughts on it?
So my thoughts on it is, I believe a lot of people are not properly informed. They know bits and pieces about these illnesses or these disorders, but they are not fully informed about it. So they just pick a little bit of the information and run wild with it. And that's why someone will wake up in the morning and clean their room and they'll be like, oh, I've got OCD, I've got ADD, I've got ADHD. But really, you just decided to be a grown up and get your space cleaned up. So I think it's the half information that is the major problem we're facing. A lot of people will tell you, "Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, um, I'm having a burnout." Burnouts are real, yeah, but they go, "Oh, this environment, this working environment is toxic. It's this person is acting this way, and all of this." And in all reality, or in all truth, there are toxic work environment. But just because we are tired, which is a normal thing that will happen to you, you get exhausted from work, you get tired, you get a little bit frustrated with your project or whatever, does not necessarily change the entirety of your workspace to become toxic. Just because you're having a sad day for a couple of days doesn't make you completely depressed. So I think people need to be properly informed about this.
Okay, thank you very much, Jessica.
So it's the thing is mental illnesses are real. One, they are illnesses, they are sicknesses. You don't want it for yourself.
Okay.
People are not very informed about that. So they'll use it as, oh, it's clinical, it's actual illnesses. It's like a malaria, it's like a cancer that you don't want for yourself. But people would usually say just so that they can run away from things that they are supposed to be responsible for, or uh, or duties, things that they are supposed to do. They are supposed to be accountable for something, but then the moment you're trying to ask them questions, especially in the workspace, you're trying to criticize their work, trying to ask them questions, then now, hey, it's toxic. This place is too toxic for me. Why it's too bad for my mental health. It's crazy.
I find it very common among the younger people, especially the young workforce. They use it a lot, quote and unquote, the Gen Zs. They
Okay.
use it a lot. You hear someone who is probably, let's say, a younger person who's working in a space, and the person's like, "Oh no, I can't take it. It's not given." Yeah, I mean, because that's what you hear. It's not given. It's toxic. The energy, it's not negative vibes, negative energy. That's what I'm getting from the workspace, and really, what you are just trying to do is to negate your work. You're trying to push your work away from you and actually get into the work. There are good um what will I call it? There are good stress. Although there's a lot of downside to as how people look at stress, but there's some necessary stress you have to go through while you're working or while you're living generally. But everybody just wants to live a soft life. Nobody wants to be stressed. Nobody wants to have a headache. It just even a little bit. No, they don't want that discomfort anymore. They just want to go through everything in the way it pleases them, even though it's not the right way. So I think we have to cut that culture of misusing things just because it's beneficial to us.
Okay, so I want us to delve deeper into the conversation of excuses, mental health excuses. When you know it's important for us to prioritize our mental health, but when do you think the line is being crossed from you prioritizing your mental health and then using it as just an excuse?
Okay, so the line is crossed when you stop telling the truth. When people stop telling the truth, you just need to be able to look within, ask the right questions, ask yourself, how do I feel? What is going on with me? How long has it been? You get it.
Yeah.
Those type of questions are very important. How long has it been? How has it been consistent? How am I functioning these days? All those questions need to be asked. And then now when you know you have a problem, you look for solutions. But then with running away from accountability or using it as an excuse, you just want to run away from uncomfortable situations. It's just in the moment. You don't want to listen, you don't want to but then if you're going through the actual illness, you'd want to be out of it. It is hard. It's not simple. It's not that simple. It's hard. It's an illness. You want to run. You want to run out. You wouldn't even want to call it for yourself. You wouldn't even want it for yourself. But then people. That's when you know that people are misusing it because
Yeah.
in a moment you want to just leave. That's your excuse. You just want to leave the situation. But then the real illness, it's consistent symptoms. It's you no longer function the normal way or properly. You get it.
Yeah.
So that's when you know that people are crossing the line by misusing or so you just need to tell the truth.
Okay. Thank you, Anita.
So just to add to what Juanita has said, aside from saying telling the truth, there should also be some sort of accountability to it as well. So let's take our physical health, for example. You don't necessarily have to be sick for you to want to take your supplements in order to have a much more functional life. You take your zinc, you take your vitamin C's, you take all of those good stuff just to boost your physical health, yes? And then for your mental health, you don't do the necessary work. You don't you don't eat the right food, you don't sleep well, you don't journal, you don't have retrospective moments where you take in some time and just look back and say, okay, what's going on with me? Why am I acting this way? What's going on here? Did I act this way because of XYZ, or am I just in my head a lot? Many people don't do that. They just know that, okay, if I tell them at work, because in some parts of the world, people get paid for being disabled, whether it's mentally or you can't do much, that is a real issue. But people say, okay, just pick it. Just imagine, oh, telling your work people at work that I've got cancer, I can't come in today because I've got chemo. It's as good as saying that too. But people don't see, they don't think it's that weighty. They don't know the gravity of the things they say. So I believe more of us should have more accountability when it comes to using these illnesses as excuses. I mean, we've all had once in our life when we told them at school that, oh, we can't come to school today because we're sick. I don't know if you guys did that, but I did one time. So yeah, we've all had that time. So it's almost the same thing, but mental illnesses are much more weighty because you can't touch them. You get the symptoms, but you can't touch them. You can't hold it and say, okay, this person has got pale skin, this and that. It's probably this, probably that. But you need to really sit with yourself, really observe yourself, or go to a therapist, and the therapist would really observe you and say, okay, this is what you've got, this is what you've got, this is what you got. And everybody has mental health just the way we all have physical health. So because when you say, oh, I have a mental health whatever, everybody's like, okay, this person's probably going cuckoo in the head. But like I said, lack of proper information or no proper education to the public. So we need to be more accountable. That's just it.
Okay. So I think like you said, something like, let's say, a headache, body pain, or malaria or cancer can
Yeah.
be easily seen.
Yeah.
Have you ever, since you're a therapist, have you ever encountered a situation where somebody was using mental health as a reason to like shun away from being accountable for a situation? And how do we deal with it? Because let's say somebody like me, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
So how do I deal with somebody using it as an excuse, probably not to come to work, probably not to get things done, and not to be accountable for their situation?
They even use it not to come for therapy sessions. Yeah, so it's something you if for someone who has the actual illness, you need to get to a certain level of trust. This is from therapist to patient. There's got to be that level of trust because the first 5, 4, even 3 sessions, you would get this type of, oh, I can't make it today, I'm probably busy, oh, I got stuck in traffic. This one excuse or another will come up because this person's actually trying to be open and vulnerable to you. You're a complete stranger to this person and you are the one who wants to help this person. So yes, the excuses, or rather using the illnesses as a form of excuse to not get proper treatment, is always there. The many times I've missed injections just because I don't want to get the jabs. So the excuses are always there. And the issue is just the same repercussions you get for missing your physical medications. If you miss your malaria medication, maybe you're supposed to take it three, 111 for 3 days, and you miss an entire day. It's not you're not doing anybody but yourself. The repercussions will eventually come again. You would have to take the proper medication from the beginning, start to finish again. So the longer you push it, or the more excuses you make, you will get a relapse. That's why you see people having relapse. You see people saying, okay, I started therapy, I'm doing this, or I'm going for A&A classes for people who have alcohol and other issues. um I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then all of a sudden they disappear because of the built up excuses they've been saying. Oh, I can't make it today. I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, I've got that. I can't make it in today, and then maybe they miss 10 sessions, they miss a whole month, they don't show up at all, and this thing start building up that resistance again, because it's like you're exercising. okay, that's the perfect example. You're exercising, you're trying to build muscles, whether it's your triceps, your quads, whatever it is you're trying to build. You miss the gym for, let's say, a month. Start having your one pack again instead of your six, and and then you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, what's going on, what's happening? It seems like the gym is not working, but you fail to put in the work, which is going to the gym at least 3 times in a week, or let's say 4 times a week, so that you can get that summer body, so or you achieve the body goals or weight loss goals you have. It's the same. You have to put in the work. You can't make the excuses and you expect to see results. You would have your relapse if you don't. You won't get the proper treatment if you don't. So people, the excuses will always be there, and I think it stems from a place of fear and trust, or better still, mistrust. There's no proper trust yet. So you have to build that trust, and the person has to feel safe with you and to be able to be very vulnerable. And you also have to help the person move away from the block of fear they are at.
So she spoke from the excuses,
Angle.
Yeah.
yeah, angle patients would give, but then with people who just give it as an excuse to avoid accountability or responsibility, yes, I've seen a lot of them because I manage a few people, and you'd hear it a lot. How do I usually meet them? Or not just the people I manage, but my friends, my family. I'm the type of friend who will tell my friends the truth. My friends know that. So when they meet me, I will tell you the truth, but then I would say it with a lot of compassion.
Okay.
I see you, I believe you, but you need to put in the work, like she said. You can't stay where you are. You need to take it one step at a time. That way, you've met them with a lot of compassion. You've made them understand that I understand that in this moment you feel sad. In this moment, you don't feel like you want to do this. But have you thought about what you want to be in the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, have you thought about what you want to be in the next 5 years? Usually that's the goal people set for themselves. I want to be this. But then it's the little things you do today that leads to that. So everything you do within your day leads to it. So the decisions you're making every day for yourself would lead you to that person. So when you're avoiding discomfort, you're harming yourself. It's better for you to get up. I'm not saying rush in it, go and do it like you are a superhero. No. But take the little steps. If today you can't do everything that Juanita can do, if I can't do everything Juanita will do in a day today because I don't feel like it, I will try to at least do a few because that's what I can handle today.
Okay.
And that's okay. But when it becomes consistent, you don't want to do it because it's uncomfortable. We all have those days. We have the bad days where you really don't want to get out of bed to do anything. It happens. But then sometimes it's not even about motivation, it's about discipline. You need to forget your mood and follow your plan. And then just get up and do it. Because sometimes motivation will never be there. We have those days. And when you follow it, you realize that you go a week and you have done
You've
nothing.
done nothing.
And then if you're like me, you would feel worse than you were feeling before. So it's best you get up and just do it, even if it's just to take the tiny little steps. So to me, I would always meet these people with a lot of compassion. I would say, I see you. I believe you. I believe that you don't feel like it, but you have to. Because this is what we need to get. We need to get it done at this moment. Unless you're saying you can't do it at all, then I find somebody else to do the work for you. Yeah.
All right. So I think you mentioned something about fear, where people are scared,
Yeah.
and so I want us to talk about stigma,
Okay.
and then like reality in our African setting, even in Ghana. Last month was Men's Mental Health
Yeah.
Awareness
Yeah.
Month, and we didn't even talk about it. We just brushed it off.
Many people don't even know that June is June, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
June.
June is men's mental health month. Many people don't know. They only know about the general mental health
Yeah,
day, but they don't know about men's mental health. So talking about the stigma, or especially in Africa,
yeah, in African setting. I
it
think
is.
Juanita made a statement that
Yeah.
if you say you have mental health issues, people automatically think you're going mad.
True. Like when you say, "Oh, my mental health can't take it," the first thing is like, "Okay, this person is probably
Someone that's to take
bonkers,"
you to
or
church.
they'll take you for deliverance, or they'll call the pastor and be like, "Hey, pastor, please." But the thing is, like I said from the start, it is the lack of proper education for the public.
Okay.
If people are properly educated, especially in Africa, if people are properly educated, I believe they would be more open to it. So, take for example, a parent with a dyslexic child that doesn't know anything about what dyslexic is. That child from the very young age had probably going through the whole issue, and then they'll be like, this child is not smart. This child does not know how to read anything. This child don't know anything. This child don't know anything. But because the parent is not informed, because the parent does not have the proper education about mental health and illnesses or disorders, they think the child is probably under some spiritual attack. Because one thing I notice about the African scene is, if we don't understand anything, we just tag it to spiritual problems. We just tag it to spiritual problems, and it is. I believe with the proper education, and I see some people, some parents coming out with it. My mom, as well traveled as she is, she also almost fell into that situation of tagging it to spiritual issue, rather than actually taking out the time to go for proper care and do the work and do the right thing. But thankfully she did. She didn't leave it at, we'll pray about it or we'll pray it off. But I'm not disputing prayer. Prayer works, prayer is good, but we have to do the work still as individual. We need to get our people educated. We need to get the communities educated. And I'm not just talking about a certain caliber of people. I'm talking about down to grassroots people, because you find out that in those communities there are people suffering from things like that. Children, adults, middle age, all from all ages. Either everybody has mental health, but some people have illnesses that are not even properly diagnosed or even diagnosed at all. So it still boils down to the lack of education of the public. That's why the stigma is there. That's why the fear is there. For someone won't outrightly tell you, "Oh, I'm depressed." They won't outrightly. It's just now that it's coming out because, like you said, a lot of people are using it to get away from work. A lot of people are using it to get away from many other things. But the ground is breaking, or we're having groundbreaking experiences from works that are being done by a lot of foundations and individuals to help people, educate people about it, teach people about it, and also create that safe space for people to actually share their experiences and actually have the opportunity to be educated about mental health.
Okay.
I believe that we can do that. Like she's saying, we are having a lot of breakthroughs, and they are doing a lot of work, and the not the language or the conversation is going on, but it needs to be properly. People need to be properly informed, properly. Like it needs to. They really need to understand the depth of what it is, because if we leave it at that and people keep oversimplifying what their mental illnesses are, they get up, I have depression, they feel that's it. And when they keep doing that, the work that is ongoing would go back to ground zero, and now the actual people that are suffering wouldn't be seen. going back to your question, I would say that Africans, we are seen as very strong people in in the home, like in the African home, being strong, endurance, enduring things, and being strong. Bemensu, that one, that that enduring things is very important to a lot of African parents or in the African home, being seen as the moment you tell them that, oh, I have a problem, I need help, they see you as weak. Or sometimes they think you're even,
You're joking.
no, not even joking, or they feel like you're seeking attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a world where people are stigmatizing the thing, I tell you I need help. And you feel like I'm seeking attention. Or people would say you're going mad. Every little thing, the moment you say it's a mental disorder, because you said it's mental,
Yeah.
you're going mad.
Even if you just mention mental health, they don't want to know as long as it's mental. As long as the mental is attached to the statement, they're already. Some people will actually, are you mental? Literally, people will ask you that, but it's still the lack of the education
Yeah.
about it. I mean, everybody knows what to do when they have a cold to an extent. Everybody knows what to do to prevent the cold to an extent. Everybody knows what to look out for when you have a cold. Everybody knows what not to do when you have a cold and for you to prevent the cold from coming. But for mental health, we don't have much of that. That's just it.
Okay. I think I have a follow-up question to this.
Okay.
Um, we have like how do I put this? People who are genuinely like struggling.
Yeah.
There are people who will lock themselves up in their rooms, no talking, and they don't know what is happening to them.
Yeah.
They don't know who to go to,
Yeah.
where to go to, who to
Yeah.
talk to. And especially me, I have seen it with men when they are going through stuff, they try to bottle it up and then not say it. How are we like getting it done to be able to have these people be able to open up and then get the help they need
Yeah.
without
So
being like stigmatized?
yeah. So that's why we have um advocacy going on and trying to create the awareness for people to understand that it's okay to not feel okay.
Yeah.
You understand? It's been normal for us to struggle and bottle it up and then wonder what to do, and you get it. But then people do not know that there are avenues, there are places for you to go to. The psychiatric hospitals and stuff are not just for mad people. We have psychologists over there. We have people that can help depression. We have people that can help any type of mental illness or disorder, not just when it's gotten to the very severe stage where people run around naked and everything like that. No, we have all that. We have the very severe cases, like even physical physical illnesses. We do have the minor illnesses and we
Yeah.
have the very severe ones. And the very severe ones, you stay in the hospital, that people who have been in the hospital for a year plus. It's the same thing for mental illnesses. We have people that are in the wards that have been there for more than a year. You understand? So
Yeah.
when we have people who go there for just a month, and we have people who go there daily for reviews and stuff like that. So it's very important that you understand that mental illness is just like physical illness. When you look at it that way, you now understand that, oh, okay, when I feel like, oh, I'm feverish and everything, I need to go to the doctor. It's the same thing. So for the men, for everybody basically, you don't need to bottle it up. You just need to ask yourself questions genuinely. How have this thing that I've been feeling, how long has it been? Has it gotten to the point where I need help? Because if you don't ask yourself the questions, if you don't, like, it's just like when I have a headache. Sometimes I would have a headache. I know I've been behind my laptop for a long time and I haven't gotten up, I haven't eaten. So I do the minor things. I'll eat, I'll get up, I'll take a walk and see if that
Yeah.
headache will stop. If it doesn't, then I know that now I need to take the next step of going to check it out.
Okay.
That's the same thing you need to do as a man, as a woman. You need to check in on yourself. How am I feeling? This thing that I've been feeling, has it been 2 weeks? Has it been 1 month? Has it Do I need help? Yes, you do. So you just get up and then you go before it becomes, because for mental illnesses, just like physical illnesses, if you don't attend to the little symptoms, the symptoms build up. They become worse and worse. For major depression, which I have experienced, major depressive disorder that I have experienced, I would say you move from, I really don't want to get up and go to work today. I'm sad. You have that persistently for a month. Every day you're sad. You're sad. Every day you're sad, and then you wake up one day, then the next thing you really don't want to do anything. All the things you used to enjoy, playing video games, working, talking to your friends, speaking to people, all these things, you don't feel like doing them anymore. Then it moves to another stage where now you're looking at, I really don't want to be alive. Why am I alive? Then you're moving on the street and you're like, can this car just hit me so that I die? Then you move to the next thing, you're attempting the suicide and you control yourself. Then you move to the next thing, you are attempting it and you no longer have control over yourself and you kill yourself. So it moves in stages. So when you need to be very intentional with checking in on yourself. It's very important. Man, woman, anybody, you need to check in on yourself. And for the men, come on, we forget that thing. We are it's got to that point. You need to stop being too strong. It's okay to be strong, resilient sometimes, most times. But then when you realize that this thing has been going on for a while now, you need the help, and it's okay to go and get the help. I would always call, I love Brene Brown. She says vulnerability is daring, allowing yourself to show vulnerability is daring greatly.
Yeah.
So always dare greatly. Go to the doctor, speak to the psychologist, take the medications if you have to, because they do help. And it's for yourself, it's personal. I can't come and take the medication for you. I can't force you to see the therapist. Nobody around you can. You need to do it for yourself. You need to feel better, because we don't want you're very important to the world, every little one of us, and we don't want you killing yourselves. And a lot of men are killing themselves, and it's very important.
Yeah. we I get this, like, I always have this conversation a lot, especially with men, because I find it easier for women to talk. Like, it's way easier for women to talk about things or situations, whether it's mental health or, oh, my car broke down, or my hairstylist got pregnant, or whatever. We find it very easy to chat. But for men, even amongst themselves, they will come in and they'll be like, guy, what's up? Chief, how are you? And that's about it. And they can play video games and they talk, but we've not really cultivated that space for men to really feel safe in order for them to show vulnerability. It takes a whole lot for a man to sit you down and tell you, I'm having this, and I don't know what to do. This is how I feel like. This is what is going on in my head. This is how everything is happening with me, and I don't know what to do. I'm helpless. It takes a very strong man to come and speak to you about that. Not all of them will do that, because many a times, for the few that have been vulnerable with people like that, they've been hit Like people have taken advantage of that vulnerability, so they've been scarred from those experiences, and they need to. It takes a whole lot more for that kind of individual to do that again. So I think it's the lack of the safe space. We're yet to cultivate that safe space when it comes to men. Yes, women, we talk, and there are a lot of women advocacy, especially when it comes to mental health as well. But for men, it's not that loud yet. And I hope we're able to get it to about the same level when it comes to women. And also for men, please, let's talk. It's okay to talk, please. Okay.
See how she said it takes a strong man to come forward. A strong man to come forward to
Yeah.
speak. She just said it. It
But
takes
I feel like,
it you feel like you being vulnerable is weak.
yeah,
But
that's what I was
it
about to
rather
say.
takes
That's how they feel.
it takes a lot of courage. But because even for me, it took me a lot of courage to seek the help.
I was just going to.
So it's not just even about men. Everybody takes, because of the stigma, it takes a lot of courage. And for men, like I said, a
Yeah.
who has been a normal term
I said,
in this African.
Bearman and no drain you.
Exactly. You see, so they've made it normal. Yes, everybody needs to be strong, but the women can be weak. But then for the men, you need to be very strong.
Yeah.
And to them, and yeah, so to men, even amongst themselves, the reason why they can't even tell the other men or the fellow man is because they all want to show that I'm strong, I'm okay. But it's okay to talk to yourselves. If you can't talk to your wife or your friend or your girlfriend at home, talk to your friends. And I understand the safe space thing, where sometimes you talk to people and they use it against you. I talked to people, they used it against me a lot of times. They said, "Oh, Anita, she has depression. Forget. She not go do." you know, they they've used that.
Wow.
Or that's why you have that's why you have depression, or that's why you have daddy issues. They do use these things against you a lot of times. But then that's what that person doesn't speak to who you are or what you are. It just speaks about who they are. So I never let these things stop me from getting the help that I need. Because there are people that would actually see you. I told one of these young ladies that talked to me a lot, and I told her that the people around you that do not see you for who you are, it's okay, because you are yet to find the people that would see you for who you are. So it's very important that you understand this.
Go back to a part of our conversation was we are trying to now reclaim the conversation on mental health so that people get to understand it better. In your view, what do you think we are to do to help reclaim the conversation and help people get a better understanding?
Okay, first, before you reclaim anything, you have to first know what it is you are trying to reclaim.
Yeah.
Okay, it still boils down to the educating of the public. I would forever be one of those. You need to know what it is you're getting yourself involved in before you start. Get the ground basics, understand, okay, this is the footwork of what is we need to do. This is how we need to get it together. This is what we're going to do before we now know that, okay, this is what we are getting back. This is how we need to get it back. And it boils down to the educating of the public. It boils down to awareness, and not just spreading awareness just because you feel like, okay, it's okay to be um loud, or because people can be loud without saying anything. So you need to know what it is you're saying, and be certain you're giving out the right information. Don't be out there giving people half truths. Say it completely. Let them know what it is they're getting involved in. Let them understand what it is they're even talking about in the first place, and not just placards and slogans and screaming, yeah, mental health. It's catchy, it's nice. We have all of the phrases, but let's be real and get the actual work done in order for us to actually reclaim the real conversation when it comes to mental health.
Yeah, I think she has said most of it, but what I would say quickly is that we need to tell the truth. Like I said before, we need to people need to understand what each of these illnesses that they wake up every day to say I have is. They need to understand that it's not just a mood; it's an illness. It has symptoms that need to be consistently there. It needs to reach a certain severity for you to know that, okay, we've gone past the normal. That's why they call it the disorder, because there's an order,
Yeah.
there's a norm where you could have some fear, you could have sad days, you could have bad days, you could have yes, you could have days where you really don't feel like cleaning your room. But then it's about crossing the line of the spectrum. Like, you get me? Like, what sometimes we all have those days, then we are all mad. You get it? We all have those days. But then but then we need to understand where it becomes an illness and why people need to stop saying certain things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think when it comes to reclaiming the conversation, how do you think we are doing it through like storytelling, people being able to be vulnerable, to be able to help us change the narrative?
Yeah, I believe storytelling is very important. Not just in the general look of things. Telling stories and everything has shaped how we view things and everything when it comes to social media and everything like that. It's very important that people are telling their stories. And to me, when you're able to be vulnerable enough to tell what you've gone through or what mental illness really was for you, not just I was depressed for a few days, but what it was, the struggle you went through to feel better. When you allow yourself to say these things, these men that do not speak out now feel like, okay, someone spoke about it, so I can too. You've given other people permission to also speak about their experiences,
Yeah.
and you allow people to understand that they are not alone, they are not alone going through the illness, and that there's help. I went through this, I got help from so and so, and I felt much better. If you let people tell the actual truth, other people can also do the same. And then we move from there.
All right.
Okay, so with the storytelling thing, most people see it, especially on the social media platforms, most people see it as people are trying to gain views, trying to gain likes, and all of that. But if your story is authentic, if it's genuine, if you are actually telling the truth and being vulnerable so someone else can benefit from your own experience, someone else don't have to go through their own illnesses or their own journey alone, then it's worth telling. Because also being a writer, it you storytelling is very, very powerful. It shapes how you think and how you see a lot of things. So it's a very powerful tool that should be used with great discretion. Don't just put it out there just because. Put it there with caution, put it there with the right information, put it out there with the right mindset attached to it, not just for the likes, not just for the views, but for the genuinity of someone else benefiting from that story or the experience you're trying to share.
Okay. So I think like we started a conversation, I have seen a lot of people on social media just because they cleaned their room. And so it's like it gets really annoying when people are just trying to just use a storytelling. So thank you for bringing that up. Now we are going to the segment which is really important to me, which is practical insights. So how do we like how what are some of the everyday ways people can check in on their mental health without waiting to
Okay.
break down? I
Okay.
think Jessica, you have
You
to
should,
start
yeah,
this
you
year
should.
since
Okay,
you are the
so
therapist.
first and foremost, journaling. Like that should be everybody's go-to, whether you're a hardcover book and pencil or pen kind of girl, or soft copy to put in your notes. Make sure you journal. Make sure you write down your everyday experience. No matter, I little to as, oh, I woke up at 10 a.m. this morning. I felt a little bit of light headache, but I feel a little bit better right now. As little to as, oh, my auntie got me a pair of pants I really, really like, and it made me feel excited. It made me feel really good about myself. To as little as I walked down the street and I saw a puppy got hit by a car. It's every day, and you have to be consistent while you're at it as well, because when you take all of this notes, when you take all of this inventory or entry about yourself and your activities, it helps you to actually go back and read through it. So another thing you could also do, which might not be necessarily journaling but is still a form of journaling, is having a gratitude jar. So every day you could just write out how you feel. Maybe at the end of the day when you come back from work, whatever emotion it is you're feeling, you could write it down, write the date, the month, whatever, and put it in the jar. And maybe after the end of the month, or it could even be at the end of the year, you open it like a piggy bank. You open it, you take it out, and then you read through and you sit yourself down. You're like, oh, really? I felt this way January 2021. Oh, I felt this way September. I can't believe I felt this way. Then you start to see patterns. You start to see signs of how fleeting emotions can really be, and you also would be able to identify a major pattern in case there is, let's say you have a breakdown and you're taken to the therapist office by your family or your friend or whatever, and that's like the basic work you have to do almost every day. That's usually the assignment you have to take up to do journaling. So that is the major thing everybody should do. And we should also learn to sit with ourselves. Don't be afraid to be alone. People don't know how to enjoy their company, and it is very important, because it is only in that moment you truly know who you are. If you're unable to sit with yourself and talk to yourself, because there's always a voice talking to you in your head, you're always having a conversation with yourself, but when you actually sit down to listen to that voice and hear what the voice is saying, sometimes it's not usually the nicest things you would hear, but sometimes you have to sit and ask yourself, okay, why does this voice keep saying this? Why am I hearing this? What is going on? How do I change this? How do I get to be better? XYZ. And you get this information, you write it down. It all boils down to journaling. You write it down, you do the work, you enjoy your own company as well. You don't have to be out all the time. I'm not saying going out is wrong, and some people can be like, oh, what if I have depression and I'm constantly in my house locked up, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about maybe taking a retreat somewhere. Maybe you've been in your home, maybe you work from home and you're constantly indoors. You could go to a nice resort somewhere for 3 days, sit yourself down, take a new book, pen, or your notepad, whatever, and study yourself. Write down everything you feel from when you're waking up to when you get to sleep eventually. You write it down, and then at the end of that 3-day retreat, you read through all of the things you've written down concerning how you felt from day 1 to day 3, morning to evening time or bedtime, as the case might be. So journaling is key. That's the major one.
Right. Thank you.
I'll just add a little to that. You'd need to be watching your sleep, your appetite. All these things are very important. Like you need to be able to watch how you're sleeping. Are you lacking sleep? Are you oversleeping? Are you eating too much or are you eating less? All these things, you need to watch your daily activities, the things you used to enjoy. Do you enjoy them no more? And why don't you enjoy them no more? Is it by choice or by some feeling? You get it. All these little things you need to check in. So, like she said, checking in on yourself, sitting in with yourself. When you're able to do that, when you do the journaling, you'll be able to see the patterns and the things you're missing. Because
Right.
life, we are always running through life, right? But when you're able to sit with yourself, journal and things like that, and you read it. Because I remember when I was going to therapy, my doctor had me write in a diary every day, and she read it, and then by reading she could, after reading my journal, she was able to tell how severe my disorder has become. You get it? So
Okay.
it's very important.
Okay, sorry, just to add to what she said. So sometimes, as we, like she said, as we go through life, as we get older, taste for things will eventually change. There are lots of things I used to like when I was much younger that I don't like anymore. I don't want it anywhere near me. So just so many people don't misinterpret um, growth also as an illness or a disorder, you would always evolve, but also through the journaling and the retreats or retrospective sessions you have with yourself, it gives you it gives you a very good insight to know whether, okay, this is a disorder or this is just me growing. Yeah, that's just it.
Okay. All right. So let me start with you, Jessica, again.
Hi.
What would be your advice for somebody who is skeptical about the whole conversation about mental health or thinks it's just a trend?
Okay, so before now, before I decided that I wanted to help in creating a safe space for people to be vulnerable in. I used to be one of those, it's just a trend. People don't know what you're saying, or everybody's just jumping on it, or how do I start talking now? And they don't make it feel like, oh, because it's an area in which it's like my area of work is, how do I step up and, you know, talk to people about this? Should I just keep quiet and then just let them move on with whatever it is they want to? But you can't you can't sit on the fence. You either stand for something or you fall for anything. So you have to pick a side, so to speak, and take a stand. You can't sit on the fence when it comes to mental health. It's the same way as being sitting on the fence with your own physical health. How would you feel if, for some reason, you had malaria and someone who you know has malaria or is going through the terrible experiences, because people have severe malarias and they can't do nothing for days. They're tired, they're weak, throwing up, whatever. There, some people get hospitalized, and you know what that is. You know how it feels. You know that experience. You've seen people go through it. You've personally gone through it as well, and you're just, I don't, I don't care. I don't know what to say. I don't know what it is I would say to this person that would make it sound um better or make you feel better for the person. So the whole thing is not to sit on the fence. Say your truth or speak your truth and take a stand. Don't be scared, because most times it's out of I don't know how people would receive it. I don't know what people would say about it. It's usually out of a place of what people think or what people will think about you or what people will say about you. So you don't have to care about what people will say. The most important thing is that you put out the right information there, put out what needs to be said, get the proper information, put it out there, and that's it. Take your stand and keep it moving.
Okay, so I would say that for that part, the for us to be able to um like she said something about educating ourselves. Okay, if you don't believe in what mental illness actually is, that there's anything like a mental illness, but then it's just a trend, people are just saying what they want to say and everything, it is real. And they've had research that has backed it. The WHO has stated that depression especially is one of the leading causes of disability in the whole world. And when we say disability, means people are unable to do something. So a lot of people are not, you have a lot of young people not actively working because they are depressed. They have the illness and they don't know. They are just there. They don't know what to do. And suicide has also been stated as one of the leading causes of death in young people, especially men. So it's very important that if you don't believe it, you don't need to know the entirety of something to respect it. You just need to understand that there's research that has backed it. And if you don't believe it, you can go and read, research, understand what it is before now you can speak. It's okay for you not to believe certain things, but I would always back you. I always tell my friends who don't think Korean drama is a, a nice thing, is anything. I would say that, have you watched it? You get it. Have you watched it? Before I say I don't like something, I need to try it first.
Yeah.
Before I say yes, at least once, and then I'll say this thing, I tried it, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now you have solid proof, but you haven't even tried to read about it or learn about it. You just think, now you so depression, they say normal. You get it. Yeah. So yeah.
Just to add a little to what she said, try every. I'm the type of person that'll try everything and anything once. So and another thing that's lacking, especially in this generation, the younger people, a good number of them don't like to research about anything. They take half information. They like being fed information, and that has, in my own opinion, this is my prerogative, it's caused more harm than good. That's where you hear people say, what's the quote? Good bad information runs faster, or how do
Yeah.
they say it? However they say it, but you get what I'm saying. We need to have our own individuality back, in the sense of, go figure it out yourself, go find out for yourself, go get the information for yourself. Don't wait until someone comes and shares a reel with you and you're like, oh, okay, this is what's happening now, and that's it. And then someone asks you, a question. Oh, do you have a yeah, I've got ADHD, I've got ADD, I've got OCD, I've got all the D's. And then you don't even have the proper information as to what that means. So let's stop taking hand downs information and stop self-diagnosing, please, and actually go meet a therapist. Go in, don't be shy. Don't It's just like going to get your blood work at the hospital. Just go there, ask for the proper information, tell them what you need, and they'll direct you to where you need to go and what you need to get. It's not difficult, it's simple. And I think another thing is, we don't really have the way you have the NHIS here. There's not much governmental funding for people to get those kind of resources. Before you get a therapist or a psychologist, you go and pay good amount of money. So you need to, the government also need to put in their work on that aspect as well, and get in touch with foundations or people that are actually trying to get the people to talk about their problems.
All right.
Before that, we do have government hospitals that are meant for mental health that are cheaper than
Privately
the
owned ones,
privately
yeah.
owned ones. So you could try that option
Okay.
for now until you become
now.
a rich man.
All right. So this is my last question before we wrap up. How do you think we as people can be like better allies to each other to help support each other's mental health? Not just like probably me just self-checking, but me also trying to be like my brother's keeper in that regard.
Okay, so I would say that you should it's not just about asking if, oh, are you okay, or Jessica, are you okay, do you need, sometimes you need to actively be there, you know, be there as like your presence in the moment people are going through tough times and stuff like that. It's very important. Like, when you show up for a friend's yes, graduation, you didn't just say congratulations. You show up. You go for their parents. Let's say there's a funeral of a friend's relative or something. You show up. When you show up, it creates a different, yes, it makes a different impact than when you say, oh, sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
There's a different impact when you are there, fully there helping. It's about walking with them through the journey. I would always thank the people. I call them my guardrails on the edge. You get it? The people who were there for me and held my hands through the very difficult times. I had people who said, Juanita, I had people who held me accountable. And I had people who sat with me through the very tough times. I had my mom coming in all the time to make sure, because I wouldn't cook. I wasn't feeling like it, like I wouldn't eat. But my mom would come and then she would make like a bunch of food and then say, okay, I'm leaving. That's my patrol,
Eat.
eat.
Yeah.
So, those little things help me through. So it's very important that when people speak to you, first of all, listen, and then don't just say, "Oh, sorry, why?" No, you don't just say that. You should walk with them through it. Or
Yeah.
what do you need? Is there anything I can do to help you? And sometimes when people are going through these things, they don't even know what they need, or sometimes they don't even ask you for help, but you need to be checking in on them a lot. I had a friend who was going through a very tough time. She was going through guilt, she was going through grief because she had lost her mom. What I did was to check in as much as possible because she didn't want anybody close. She didn't want people around her. But checking in as much, I'm here when you need me. If you want to talk, when it becomes hard and you can't control yourself, I'm here. Call me. I'll pick up at any time. I don't care what I'm doing. You get it? Like,
Yeah.
it's like reassuring them that you are there. You need to keep doing it. It's work, but you need to do it because it just shows how much you care. Saying hi, sorry for your loss is work, but then it's very little work. But
Yeah.
going wherever the funeral is taking place, showing up there is a lot of work, but you did, right? So it's the same thing. Always walking through the dark times or the illness with them, not just saying, "Are you okay? Sorry, why?" Those things, no. I beg.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's very true. Having people who hold space for you is very important. We don't have when you find people mental health illnesses or disorders or not in actual life, when you find people that hold space for you, don't joke with them. Show your pride, keep it in the bin, and let them stay. Do what it takes because you don't see many of those kind of people anymore again. So, with that being said, finding your people holding space for you, you also, the individual that space is being held for, also have work to do. You didn't you were at least to a minimum, you were a little bit accountable to these people. You also want to respect their boundaries because they are also giving you a lot. In as much as they are doing a lot, you are doing your own part, they are also doing a lot. Most people life have to be put on hold in order to hold space for people,
Yeah.
and it's not usually the easiest because they themselves, they maybe this is the first time going through something like this. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to help you. They want to help you but they don't know how to, which also boils down to the education and awareness as well. But you as the individual that's being helped and held space, but you need to also respect this person because the person can also be like, you know what, I don't need to be here. In as much as I love you, I care for you, I want the best for you, I don't have to be here because it's taking a toll on me as well. I need to step out. Maybe I'll step out for a bit and come back, but right now I cannot be here because of XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So we need to it's a two-way street. You being held space for need to be accountable and do what you need to do. Get your treatment, get go for a therapy session, get better. That's the reward you're giving to the people holding the space down for you. Get better, so that, because it's painful to have someone you've cared for and done everything, literally put your whole life on a hold for, to just deteriorate when you
Yeah.
expect this person to get better. It's painful. And this person is not even putting in the work. Like, bro, what's going on? Put in the work and get better. But we also need to, it's a two-way street. We need to, each parties need to do their work. If you need some time out because it can be very cumbersome, it can be very exhausting, you can take out the time. Let the person understand that, okay, yes, I'm not leaving. I just need some time away. I'm going to come back, but I just need some time away because I have to be okay in order to hold down the space for you. And the person who is being, the person going through the illness or the period of downtime should also understand that, okay, yeah, this person should do this. But sometimes it's difficult. They don't get it. They feel like, oh, you're abandoning me at my worst. You don't want me. I get it. I'll go. You can go. They, pull up all the old drama and all of that. But when you are stepping up, make sure there's someone else stepping in, because you don't want to leave them completely unattended to.
Okay.
So it's important to have the right set of people around you. There could be three of you. You could interchange. Like, say your mom was coming in, you probably had friends that were calling and checking in every now and then. It should be like a group of people, and there's sometimes just one person, and it's usually very difficult for the person sometimes too. So you could probably get like a professional help come into the home and stay with the person. So it's it's important that we are respectful of both parties.
Okay.
Yeah, so like she said, accountability, and then what? How still holding space for people, but sometimes I would advise, so that you don't misunderstand what she said. I would advise that you try your best in certain situations. You need to watch how you speak to people going through mental illnesses, because how you speak to them and certain things you say could trigger it to be worse. So it's very important that you have a lot of compassion in everything that you say. Yes.
And I don't even think it's just but for the sake of the conversation, generally you should know when to say what at every given moment.
Yes.
Don't just say, just because a lot of people say, oh, um, I just sorry. A lot of people say, oh, that's how I am, or that's how I feel, and
Yeah.
yeah, you might feel that way, but it might not be the right moment, and the person might not even be in the right state of mind to tell them that, oh, this is this. You go for a play, maybe your friend invites you for a play, she's taking a part in, and the play is shit, and your friend comes, how was it, how was it, and then you can't go, oh, your play was shit. You can't do that, it's wrong. I mean, you could be like, you did great, yeah, but not, oh, the play was shit. But maybe like 4 or 5 days after she's come down from the high of excitement, and you'd be like, you know what, I felt like you could have done this part better, this could have been better, this could have been better, and that's it. You still said the same thing you wanted to say, but in a different way. So people need to learn how to talk too. Like, you learn to how to talk to people and address people, right timing, right words, right environmental atmosphere. Just
Okay.
yeah.
I've actually learned a lot from the session. I've been quiet, just soaking it in. So before I wrap up, or we wrap up, I just want to get your last words for our listeners. Your last, anything you want to say to our listeners. Any last words?
Okay, so I would say that apart from the fact that we've had all this conversation, I would encourage a lot of workplaces and schools and all these places to put in systems and policies that allow people to feel safe to speak out when they are going through like very difficult times,
Yeah.
and the policies and systems should support people that are not just physically ill but mentally ill as well. And when I say mentally ill, I don't mean madness. I mean having any sort of mental disorder, or feel like they are should support burnouts and all these things. There should be systems in place to help people to not reach certain severity of certain cases. So it's very important that these policies are put in place in workplaces, schools, and wherever. And I would, for my last words, I would say, please, mental illnesses are real. They are real, they are serious, they are not things that you wish upon yourself. So it's very important that you do not just get up and say, I am depressed, I have ADHD, I have anxiety, I have, okay, so I have OCD. Or they are not things you want to call for yourself. They are not things you want in your life, because they are serious, they are hard. And for people that are going through mental illnesses, we see you, we are there for you, and we support you. Please go seek the right help. Go to the doctors, they know what to do for you. And whilst you're doing that, make sure you allow people who care about you be there for you, because it makes it easy. Because I remember my doctor asking me if I was a Christian. I asked her why was it important, and then she said. Then I said in that moment I was going through it, so I said, well, I think I was a Christian, but right now I don't think I believe in God that much. I feel like he's a wicked man. And then she said she asked because people who have a religious attachment, it's easier for them to come out of it. Not like there's no explanation. It's just because you have a backing, you
Yeah.
have a belief behind you that I believe that I'll be well. You have those things behind you. So it's very important to have support around you, to have people around you. So allow people to be there for you. And also, please feel free, be strong. Being vulnerable is not weakness, it is courage. It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. So allow yourself to be vulnerable. When you need help, say it. If you need some days off from work, tell your HR. Be truthful. Don't just say I'm depressed, so I won't come to work, or the place is toxic, I won't do the work. Yes, it's not given. You don't say those things. You need to be truthful with yourself, accountable as well, and don't misuse the words. It's very important that we don't misuse it, or else we water down the actual illnesses, and we make those who are suffering from these, and they are fighting mental illnesses. They are fighting every day to feel better. And what we are doing when we misuse the words is we water down the struggle, and we make them feel like, okay, everybody is going through it, so why am I overreacting?
Yeah.
But they aren't. You get it. They need help. So please, let's stop misusing the words and then tell the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my last words would be, I mean, Juanita has actually said almost everything, but my last words would be: get the right information, get informed, do your part, which is getting informed, stay safe, eat well, eat well. For goodness sake, eat well. A lot of people would be hungry and get angry because of the hunger, and then take it out on people, and then they'll be like, oh, I have bipolar. You're just hungry. Please eat, okay? Eat. You don't have bipolar, you're just hungry. So eat, take your physical health and your mental health as they're equally important. You need both of them for a well-being. You need both of them to have a well-being. You can't be physically ill and mentally all right. You can't also be mentally ill and be physically all right. You don't it, they both work hand in glove. You need both of them to be okay. So do the work. It's not easy, but it's good work. It's hard, but it's good work. So get informed, put in the work, eat right, take your drink water, please drink a lot of water as well. So, and also aside from workplaces putting in the systems for people to get the help they need, because when you say workplaces, you find out that a lot of creative spaces put in give that system, they have that system. So the entire, so it shouldn't just be people working in the creative sector, it should also be for people working in the banks, people, even the healthcare people as well, the healthcare practitioners, they should also be given that system as well, because you have a whole lot of burnout from people working in the healthcare system, because most times they're usually understaffed and overworked and not really well paid. But that's another topic for another day. So let's do the work, let's get informed, let's eat right, let's drink a lot of water, let's prioritize our mental health as much as we prioritize our physical health as well, because we need both of them. You can't, I mean, you need both of them, you can't do without the other. That's just the basic, that's just the most important thing. Get informed, do the work, and do the right thing. And sometimes the right thing one doesn't feel good, so I mean, I have to go to the gym, but it's fine.
Right. So thank you so much, ladies, for sharing this insights with us. Realize that during this conversation I was very quiet because a lot of the things were new to me, and it's good that we are getting this education now. And this conversation was brought to you by the Africa Discourse channel in partnership with the Minds Wind Foundation. So the Minds Wind Foundation helps supports people with mental health, and there are a couple of initiatives they'll be doing this year. I will let Juanita, the executive director, tell us a bit about what they'll be doing and then how you could benefit from some of their initiatives before we wrap up.
Yeah, so we are working on, Jessica and I, and then the entire team, we are working on putting together as support groups, different support groups. We are starting soon. We want to have support groups that allow people feel safe to share their stories and also understand that they are not alone. There are so many other people. We know a lot of people do, because of the stigma still being there, some people do not like to show their faces, so most of the support groups discussions wouldn't be physical for now.
Okay.
We will do it online, and it's fine. Anyhow you join us, it's fine. If you join us and you write your name XYZ, we'll name you XYZ. Just show up, and then feel free to tell us what you're going through, things you've been through, and you'd understand, and you'd meet a lot of people there who have been through similar or are going through other things, and you'd understand how they are processing it and going through everything. And apart from that, we are going to be having a lot of webinars here in, to keep creating the awareness we need to create. We will be working on a few articles as well, and a lot more. We are working on it, and we'll share with you. So just watch this space, right? Yes.
All right. So, if you are somebody going through anything mental health related, you need somebody to talk to, you can just reach out to the foundation via all social media platforms, the Mindswind Foundation, and they are going to be more than able to support you in it any way you want, basically. And also at the Africa Discourse channel, what we do here is to connect various African industries through conversations, through storytelling, and letting people know what is happening in various African industries and how they can tap into it, basically. So, thank you so much for joining in today and listening to this conversation. It's been like one of the conversations I've been looking forward to since the year began, and I'm so glad it happened. If you have any questions, you have any feedback, or there is even a question you want to ask any of the panelists, do well to send it in the comment section. They would come and respond to you in the comments area. And before I wrap up, I just want to say that today's conversation has shown us that our mental health is important, it's real, and it's important that we take care of ourselves. So until we meet again, please do well to take care of your mind, take care of your neighbor, and take care of yourself. Thank you, and see you on the next
See you.
episode.
Bye. Okay.